Market predictions. We're going to look back at what happened last month of 2024 and take a quick look at what we think might be happening into 2025 in the housing market. Let's get to it. Hi, my name is Jeremy Tremblay. I am a local realtor that works here, Belleville, and surrounding areas. If you have any more questions, feel free to reach out. My information down below in the description. I've got my email, my phone number. I'd love to hear from you. Also, if you want to learn more about this area, check out my other videos. I've got a lot talking about the little areas and pockets that are around Belleville as well. Let's get to it. So we're going to start by looking at the stats for 2024 of December, the final month, to see kind of how things ended. And then after that, we're going to quickly look into my predictions, what I see may happen for the housing market going into 2025. So first off, we're going to look at the months of inventory. So this stat I enjoy. It gives an overall health of where the market is. It takes into account the total active listings and the total sales for a given month, and it puts them into a range. So 0 to 3 months of inventory, I consider that a seller's market. And then once you get 3 to 5, then you're more into a balanced market. And then once you're over 5 months of inventory, that would be considered a buyer's market. And what this means is, for instance, as an example, if you have 2 months of inventory, that means that if no houses were listed, no more houses, all you had was what was on the market today, and things sold at the same pace that they're currently selling at, all of our inventory would sell out in 2 months. Meaning things are selling that quicker. Whereas once you get up into 3, 4, 5 months of inventory, well, the amount of listings aren't keeping up with ratios to the buying and selling. So that's where it starts to go the other way. And that way buyers have more choice. It becomes more of a buyer's market. And so looking at this one here, you'll see this graph. This is looking back from December of last year to December of this year. So December last year, we had just over 2 months of inventory, solidly into a seller's market. Sellers had the advantage. And throughout the year, we saw it go down February. It started going up there a little bit towards the middle of the year, the summer months, down in August. And then we've been on a steady incline right up to this December 2024. And we've got over 5 months of inventory. It's actually 5.6 months of inventory. So we've, in my opinion, definitely kind of started going more into that buyer's territory. We'll talk more about that in a bit. And then we've got the average sale price. Everyone likes to know whether they're selling their house or whether they are looking to buy, where are the average prices going for the area. And I will note, this is for Belleville and Quinte West specifically. I like to use those because it gives a good idea of what's happening in this area specifically. And as you can see here, we've been on a decline as of August. So August, we were up here, and then it's been slowly declining month over month. This month, we've landed at $515,000 is the average sale price for the month of December. So we're seeing a little bit of relief for those that are looking to purchase. And then you have the number of sales. Now this one here, this is where these stats can be a little bit difficult because there's a lot less to draw from. As you can see here, December 2024, 54 total sales. Whereas we were at 78 in November, we were at 106, 115, 130 in August. So it's been a steady decline. Not surprising. We are in the month of December where everything gets cold in Canada and people start to kind of do their holidays and everything else. Finally, days on market. This one here, a little bit all over the place. I explained earlier in the year in January right here, the spike for the days on market. And the reason this happened was houses that were actually sitting on the market for a really long time, we're talking 100, 200, upwards of 500 days for some of them, started finally selling in this month. So it drew all of its data specifically from those really old listings that finally sold all in 1 month. So the average for the amount of days for it to sell obviously went up. It started to even out a little bit more and normalize throughout the year. And then November, we were at 50 for days on market. And then December, it was 45 days on the market. In my opinion, that's healthy. If you're looking to sell, obviously years past, the last 40 years, you've gotten kind of the impression that housing should be selling really, really quickly. And then that frustrated the buyers. But now that we're seeing months of inventory going more into a buyer's market, it means that buyers have a little bit more time little bit more time to look into the home. So if you're selling your home really under a month, that's actually pretty good. That means that pricing wise, you've got it priced quite well and people are wanting it, whereas there's other ones that are sitting on the market that little bit longer. It's not as long as you think because you're looking at a month and a half now as the average. So those are the basic stats. It kind of gives you an idea of where things have gone. Winter in Canada, I mean, generally it is quiet on the real estate front. Less people are listing their houses, less people are going out to buy. My opinion right now is that it is a good time to purchase. The problem is if you're looking to buy is you have a lot less to choose from in terms of your ideal home. So if you are looking out there and you can actually find something that you like that is currently on the market, then that's great. It's an opportunity because you may have some flexibility with the offer price and getting in there. But if you're looking to sell, also know that a lot of the buyers are kind of holding back. They're trying to find the right home right now. And another small little detail that I'll throw in there is a lot of listings that were put on the market this past year, and I think as of January, we're going to see this play into the stats, is that expired listings. Whenever a house is put on the market, it will expire after a certain period of time. A lot of them expired as of the end of the month. December 31st. A whole ton of homes expired, came off the market. So now the question is going to be, will they be put back on the market or will those people just wait? Will they wait until a spring market starts to pick up? Remains to be seen. So the second half of this, we're going to talk about predictions. I'm not really one to want to predict what's going to happen next. I like to work with the data that we have available right now, but it is fun to get an idea of where things might be going. What I'm seeing right now is a lot of uncertainty. Everybody knows about what's happening south of the border with a change of government down in the United States. And now here in Canada, our Prime Minister is stepping down, likely to have an election come March. So a lot of uncertainty there as well. And then the Bank of Canada and the federal bank in the States, they're trying to figure out what's going on with the economy, whether they're raising rates, keeping rates as is, lowering rates. A lot of uncertainty. And we're not really sure where things are going to go. And all that stuff slowly trickles down into the housing market. It's usually delayed. That's the one thing. So what you're hearing out there, there's usually a delay before it really takes effect. And so in my opinion, if things were to stay the same as they are right now, where we know what's going to happen in the States in terms of who's taking power. We have a good idea as per the polls what's going to happen in Canada. And then the Bank of Canada is kind of watching everything and starting to pull back on the idea of continuing to lower the rates. They're saying we might keep it similar, maybe lower it a little bit. If that happens, in my opinion, we're setting ourselves up for more of a balanced market. No real extreme in either direction. And so people are going to continue going out there and selling if they need to sell because they want to move somewhere else. And people are still going to look to buy if they're in a position with their jobs and such where they're ready to get into that market. That's kind of a happy medium, balanced. That being said, all it takes is a few larger events to really change the course of this. One of the big ones that I'll be watching will be the bond market. So if you look at the Bank of Canada, they want to control inflation. And how do they do that? They do that by lowering the interest rates, which in effect lower the variable rate that you can get a mortgage at. But the bond market is what affects the fixed mortgage rate. And that's what the majority of people are going to be on for their mortgage. And so if those rates start dropping this year, due to the markets, the equity markets and the stock market and everything else, well, that means mortgages start getting cheaper. And when mortgages get cheaper, that means people can afford more home and it spurs the market on and it starts to pick up a little bit. Prices start to pick up, things start selling quicker. So if you're going to watch anything, watch the fixed mortgage rate and the bond market. That's what's really, in my opinion, going to have a huge effect on this market going forward. But as I said, my prediction, that we're going to have a fairly stable market. That being said, if you look a year ago and people's predictions as per what the Bank of Canada was going to do, they were saying, the majority were saying, they might lower the rate by 0.5%, maybe 0.25%. Well, at the end of this year, they lowered the rate by a total of 1.75%. Everybody was wrong. No one had any idea that they would lower the rates as much as they did. So what happens in 2025? It's really anybody's guess. All I can say is look at the data today, plan according to what we have available. Like I said, if you have more questions, you enjoyed this video, hit the subscribe. I'd really appreciate it if you hit the little thumbs up on there. And if you have any other questions, definitely reach out. My name's Jeremy Tremblay. Till next time.